Hi, this is Dr. Jackie Gardner-Nix from the Neuronova Center for Mindful Solutions. And today, in the spirit of continuing our mindfulness, especially in times when we are sheltering in home, this is still April of 2020, Canada. And this time, I'm suggesting that we go on a virtual walk, which is a woodland walk. Unlike the one I did before, which you can also find, which was around a subdivision. And so again, in the spirit of doing this virtually, where some of us can only get out to walk once a day or less, and we are experiencing a little bit of what some of our community experiences when they're disabled and they can't get out to walk. And so to be able to do this together virtually is kind of a neat idea that includes everybody. And so last weekend, going out on a walk that was along a woodland trail was really special. The sun was shining and it really invited everyone out for a walk, but very few were walking. Many were sheltering in home. But we have been encouraged that if we are not directly in quarantine, that we need to walk on a daily basis just to keep our health in good shape. And so parking in the parking lot of the local pharmacy, small town, and choosing to head along the Ganaraska River on the east bank. Well wrapped up because the wind was fairly cold, but the sun was shining. And as we walked towards the river, we could hear the babbling, the amazing sound of the river running towards the lake, bubbling over the stones, the rapids, and at a level which changes so much depending on recent rain and season. Noticing the ground beneath our feet, that it was a dried mud, just the right consistency, not to muddy our boots, but easy to walk on, not slithery, just feeling that under our feet as we walked gently along that path, taking in all the scenes around us. I notice when I'm walking on uneven ground that I need to look down to ensure I don't trip, something that doesn't happen when I'm walking on a sidewalk. So noticing the tree roots that went across the path, being careful to navigate the uneven ground, being safe. And every now and again, slowing or stopping just to look around, to notice the twigs that were budding and that some buds were further along than others in creating their green shoots. To really look deeply into those shoots and know that day by day they will change. Just being with them in that moment. Walking on, looking at the ground beneath my boots, noticing the gentle inclines, the times when we had to climb a little bit and climb down, and fording a small stream going down towards the river, just going across on a branch and a stone, ensuring we didn't slip. Watching the grass as well as it kind of grows into its greenness at this time of year. Knowing that in this moment, this is the way it is right now, and in a few hours and days, it will be different. And as we're stopping, listening to the sounds of the birds, so many sounds, so much interaction of birds around us, above us, in the trees around us. Walking on. Again, noticing the gentle incline, the increase in breathing, the slight increase in heart rate, getting us up those inclines. And then as we walk down as well, down a slope, being careful to navigate it safely, slowly, watching where to place our feet. Stopping again to look at the tree formations, to notice the difference between the trees that are dead and felled and possibly having been felled in rough weather, but also trimmed by local experts to make sure that we're safe. Looking at the felled trees and knowing that they become the habitat for so many species that need them in that state, and that they'll return to the earth. Walking on, again noticing all the plants around us and the way things are just about to come up, being spring. Listening again to the river sounds, such as they are, reminding us where we are, reminding us of the habitats around us and the fish in the river, even though we couldn't see any. Moving over to just look at the mud that's on the side of the river and noticing the footprints of animals, the various sizes. The animal footprints, the bird footprints, not human ones so much. This is very soft mud. Just knowing that they've been there, they've left. Moving on. Listening to the sound of the river. And carrying on with the walk and noticing too, as we look towards the other side of the river, the buildings which are behind a wall, the old deserted factory. And on the other side of the road, which we can see from the river bank, the houses that are quite close to the river. Noticing the porches and the roofs, the colors. And then moving our attention back to the walk itself and the feeling of the ground under our feet, the noticing of the branches, the noticing of the shoots that are coming out right now in various stages, the noticing of the birds and the woodpecker that's up one tree, actually 3 woodpeckers, and hearing them in their labors against the tree bark. Just standing there to listen to them for a while. Moving on, further up the river. And then making the decision that it's time to turn back. Choosing a different path. Going uphill to get to that path. Noticing the crunching of the twigs beneath our feet. Noticing how there is a defined path cleared through that patch of riverside and just being so grateful that that path is there to guide us. Noticing also the occasional orange patches on the trees where someone, probably from local authorities, has sprayed a mark to show us that this is the right way to go, to join that path. And so keeping on the path and again watching more shoots, more trees, more twigs as we go past them, more observation of going down a slope and climbing another, noticing our breath, our heart rate, noticing the sun coming through the trees, the dappling of the sunlight. noticing the tree formations and how interesting they are, and how everything is so natural, and the sounds are so audible when we don't have traffic for them to compete with. And as we head back, seeing through the trees, the town appearing again, also seeing this fantastic carpet of bluebells, the blue stretching for a little bit around us as we find this new patch of heaven, I guess, there just for a short time, but so enjoyable. So pausing, taking that in, then moving on. A walk that's taken about 20 minutes, moving back into the town again, towards our vehicle that will take us home, with a wonderful memory of a sunny yet cold walk along the eastern river bank of the Ganaraska, with all the wonderful nature it has to offer for us to be mindful of, for us to be with, to lift our spirits before we return to shelter at home again. Thank you for joining me.